Hey, Joan Zodianz here, and welcome back to another episode of Spiritual Zundayz. This week we're going to be talking about Mercury in a retrograde in Aquarius, and we're going to be talking about Venus shifting into Aquarius on the 2nd. Alright, so let's go ahead and get into it. Thank you so much for allowing me to share your sacred space whenever you tune into this. And I'm just very grateful that you guys want to take the time to work on your own energy or to understand universal energy. It is always appreciated. So pat yourself on the back. So the Mercury retrograde started yesterday on the 30th, and it's going to last until February 21st. Okay, and then we have Venus in Capricorn shifting into Aquarius on the 2nd, which is going to be this Tuesday. So if you didn't watch my last video where I talk about the other planetary placements, then I encourage you to do that so you can catch up on everything, because I'm not going to touch up on that this week. But there's a lot of other Aquarius placements too, so this is a very Aquarius time. Let's go into Mercury retrograde. When we talk about a retrograde phase, we talk about the shadow side of whatever that planet zodiac sign, or whatever zodiac sign that planet's in. And currently it's in Aquarius, which is a fixed air sign. Okay, Mercury influences our communication, our perception, the way that we engage with others. So expect a lot of normal Mercury retrograde stuff, as in, you know, mental delays, or just miscommunication, or technology going down. These kinds of things kind of slow down and get confused, or a lot of indecisiveness, or anything like that that has to do with mental fogginess. Okay, it just seems like there's a blockage between people, and they just can't get their story straight. It just doesn't come off right, and that's probably what's happening right now. So because it's an Aquarius being a sign of, their motto is I know, right? They are the zodiac sign of humanitarian efforts, but also greater knowledge, greater education, more self-awareness, more mental discipline. However, because we have to look at the shadow side of Aquarius, and every sign has a shadow side, okay? Nobody's perfect. So I don't want to be just kind of ready here, Aquarians talking shit right now with their opinions thrown at me. Just let me have it. But the shadow side of Aquarius, as much as they try to do good for other people, that dark side of them likes to instigate and try to insinuate and try to put out misinformation, and they try to jump, or they not try, but they tend to jump to conclusions because they are, you know, that know-it-all ego. Like, I know everything. I know what I'm feeling. I know this. I know that. Okay, and during this retrograde phase, that's what a lot of people are experiencing, and they're going to be stubborn, and they're going to hold on to those ideas, and doesn't matter if they have evidence or not. This is that time where they're just going to feel like, well, I know that you did this, even though they're not 100% sure, they don't have the evidence to back it up. And we're seeing that with some celebrities. I'm not going to say any names, but we're seeing with celebrities being exposed by friends, or old friends, or coworkers, or ex-employers, or whatever have you. A lot of things are coming to the surface. And I'm not going to try to victim shame them or anything like that, but this is things that are in the subconscious that they haven't reflected on until times like this, times during a retrograde where it comes to the surface and they have to confront these things. So whether or not they're lying or telling me the truth is kind of out of our control, but practice discernment, okay? Try to research these things first before you kind of put that information out there. And I've seen that, and I've seen that with people. They're just spreading things that they're finding, but they're not doing their due diligence and checking their resources. On a positive note, this is a time for greater mental awareness, or greater self-awareness, where when Venus goes into Aquarius, we are going to adapt a new way of living where social distancing will kind of become the norm, or we start to get used to it, or it's something that a lot of us are now preferring. This is also a time where we are shifting our perspectives for the better. We are getting rid of our old habits or old way of thinking, because remember, Aquarius is an advanced and very progressive and productive sign. They want to move things forward mentally. They don't want to stay in the past. They don't want to linger there. So we're seeing a lot of people trying to release themselves of these things, or speaking their truth a lot, or speaking their opinion on things, or moving into different careers, or moving to a different place. They want to get rid of their old environment, whether it's literally or figuratively, and they want a fresh start at life, or a fresh way of thinking. And we're going to see that too as time moves on until next month. But it's more apparent because Venus is going to be in Aquarius, where they feel like people in their lives that no longer benefit them mentally and emotionally have to go away. Or it's going to be, I don't want to say self-sabotaging behavior, because it's not that way. But when in a Mercury retrograde, people can become confused in their situation or in their relationship, thinking that it's something that it's not. Either it's a false fantasy, or they expect this person to be somebody that either doesn't exist or just isn't them. Like, they're not seeing them for who they are. You know what I mean? And they're not accepting that. And that's the thing with Venus and Aquarius, because nobody really likes it, even though they're really accepting of different people and different perspectives and blah, 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 blah. Aquarians still have very high expectations when it comes to being with a partner, okay? And that's why a lot of them are not in relationships. They can be alone for long periods of time, and they don't have to be in a relationship. They want to. It's a logical choice and an emotional choice at the same time for them to be with somebody. And they prefer the friendship first before they jump into a long-term commitment with somebody. And that's depending on whether or not you have a strong Venus Aquarius, or you have stronger Aquarius placements in your chart. So be aware of that. Now, because of this, I feel like this is a time for people to regain their independence and to move away from any type of mental manipulation. And those are key words, you guys. Mental manipulation. Remember that until the 21st. Try not to be gaslighted or manipulated into believing somebody's false story or their false fantasy. Especially if you are feeling very desperate for money, or you're feeling very vulnerable, like you need somebody emotionally or mentally to fill that void, okay? Because you can't do it on your own. And I know that about people, that being alone can be a challenging or trying time because they're not used to it. But you have to adapt, okay? You can't let anybody make you happy if you yourself cannot make you happy. It just doesn't work that way. You can't be codependent on other people to make you happy. It's a choice on whether or not they can make themselves happy. You can make yourself happy. Together, you're happy. But I'm not trying to say that your feelings are not valid. Whatever you're feeling, if your intuition is telling you that this person is not the one for you, then, go with that. All I'm telling you is that try to reflect on the reality of the situation and not the fantasy. So the reality of the situation is where you need to be. Ground your thinking there and try not to float too high. And that's with Aquarius. They're always floating into space, somewhere else, having alien thoughts. All right. So that's all I wanted to talk about this week, you guys. Thank you for tuning in, and I will see you guys next week, hopefully with another video. So my plan, before you leave, my plan was to do double videos on the same day, so that I don't have to do it like twice a week. But I didn't strategize. I don't know what to do first. And then that's me having that mental fogginess because of this retrograde, or just like feeling kind of lost right now, like which direction should I take with videos? Because, this is still so foreign to me, even though it may not seem like that. This is still foreign to me. I don't even really know what I'm doing. So just bear with me. Bear with me and I will get it together eventually. I'm a quick learner. Give me a chance. All right, guys, have a good night. Bye.